As a psychologist, I wouldn't want to use the word mad, because when initially people used to be called mad, and they used to be ignored. If you have differed with your parents and you've shouted at each other,
you're mad.
You're mad. There has been the issue of people with suicidal ideation. It was illegal to feel suicidal. You just say, mimi nasikia naweza toka hii dunia. Then you are arrested, taken to the police.
Pearl Radio, the home of fresh and classic hits.
We have an amazing gentleman in studio. His name is Mr. Alfred Weku, who's a mental consultant. He's a specialist in child, adolescent, adults, and the elderly. That is geriatrics.
Yes.
Geriatrics.
Yes.
Okay. Karibu sana.
Asante sana.
The number is 0702969969. You can text in through the WhatsApp platform and we'll be able to respond to your question whatsoever right here in studio. Karibu sana.
Alfred Weku.
Yes, please introduce yourself to us.
Yes, my name is Alfred Weku.
Yes.
I'm a mental health consultant. I consult at within various hospitals.
Yeah.
Chiromo, a group of hospitals, Karen Hospital, Avenue, and Luton Hospital, which is located along Gong Road.
Okay.
Yes, I studied psychology. And what is psychology? Psychology is a scientific study of the human mind, how the mind works, emotions, and behaviors. Thank you so much.
All right. Now we just dive straight into the conversation about mental health. Now, can you briefly explain to us what mental health is and why is it important?
Yes, mental health is what enables one to be able to think well, feel well, and behave well. And it's important because without mental health, one would have some bizarre behaviors in the presence of people, because mental ill health is discerned or noticed by other people around you. You may not know it yourself until it is brought to your attention.
So there's mental health and mental ill health.
Yes.
When it's not working, it's mental ill health. When you know, when most people wakisikia kuhusu mental health wanafikiria uenda wazimu, you know, you're not okay in the head. But what are some of the most common mental health issues that face people today?
Yes. What contributes to mental ill health is what can prevent one from acting well. For example, people go into alcoholism and drug abuse. That brings about mental disorders that can contribute to mental ill health. Things like family dysfunctionalities, people estrange themselves from their parents. Parents, as they age, they go into issues like dementia or the degeneration of their brains or cells, therefore behaving in a different way. And you find the children are running away from those parents, thinking the parents are just naughty, and yet these parents require to be taken for mental health attention. Some of the other issues are, for example, disorders like bipolar, which could also be in the genes, and others arise as a result of let's say from the environment in later age. Bipolar is a mental ill health that has reached a level of being handled by medication and counseling. We have other serious disorders like schizophrenia, which also could be through genetic predisposition or also through coming through environmental impact.
First of all, let's just pull back a little bit to bipolar. Probably there's somebody who doesn't know what bipolar is. What is it exactly? How is this condition?
Yes, bipolar is a mental disorder that is characterized by mood swings. They go high, somebody feels so elated, and after some time also they go low. They're moody. They don't feel like talking. They feel what are the feelings that come to their mind. Some of them have suicidal ideations. Some of them can fight. Some of them go into drinking and smoking, and they engage in illicit mischief, like sexual mischief, because they are compelled by the urge of the disease to behave that way. So in most cases, they are supposed to be helped by the people around them. Once you notice the behavior has changed, then you need to take this person for medical attention. Either medicine or a counselor can assess and supervise and treat the this bipolar person.
Okay. Yes. That is bipolar. Now, the other one is, you mentioned schizophrenia.
Schizophrenia is actually the most common or prevalent mental health disorder that once it sets in a person, either through family lineage or through environmental impact, this person is also supposed to be treated in a mental health facility, supervised by a psychiatrist or a psychologist. It is a chronic illness that is characterized by behaviors like they see, we call them hallucinations. Sometimes there's through feelings or through the five senses, they can hear voices, like someone hears the mother calling him, and in real sense the mother is not calling him. Or they can see cockroaches, they can see houses burning, and yet
things that don't exist.
They don't exist.
Okay.
So those are hallucinations. Others are having delusions. That means they imagine very extreme issues, like they think of building Magorofa. Others think they're in heaven. Others think they'll tell you they're dancing with Jesus Christ. Those are just imaginations, delusions. Those are the characteristics of schizophrenia. And if it is not handled well, or if it is not discovered on time, this person will go to the streets. They start talking to themselves. They start shouting at people. And if they are not handled with love, and I'm repeating, these people require a lot of love. Do not beat them when you see them on the streets. Do not shout at them. Love them. Give them food. Give them what they want, and take them to the hospital. I believe any mental ill health can be treated by professionals. Do not ignore this man on the streets. Do not leave him look unkempt. Give him clothes, let him shower, give him medication. They will be okay.
Okay. There's somebody who's asking here about narcissism. Is it part of mental health issues? You know, we've had so many cases of narcissists.
Yes.
Yeah. How is it categorized? Is it anywhere?
Yes. When we use the DSM, the book that we use to diagnose mental disorders, it is the DSM-5. It is within the ICD, the classification of diseases. DSM is particularly for mental health or mental ill health. These are disorders. Narcissism is classified as a personality disorder.
Okay.
These are personality issues. This person is not like somebody with schizophrenia or bipolar, but the behaviors he exudes, the behaviors people notice on him are totally different, and they're hurting.
Yes.
A narcissist will have the following characteristics, if I may be brief.
Okay.
They manipulate people. They are very good in, for example, if he wants a relationship, atakatia huyo dem vizuri, he will promise this lady everything.
Heaven.
Treat them very well.
Yes.
But within a short time, he turns against this person. Now the person becomes a prey. A prey in that now he has been fed with what he wants. He will start enjoying when this person suffers.
Yeah.
they're full of grandeur. They want to show off, even if they're not able to buy that car. They will go borrow money, buy it just to show off. They are jealous. They do not have empathy. They don't have empathy. When somebody feels sad is when they feel good. They celebrate. These people in society, they are people who can have the qualities of, they are there with the people, but they are only looking for the chance to manipulate these people and enjoy themselves and have to themselves what they have. They are very mean people. They don't share what they have. They only want to receive. They don't give out. They are only receivers.
Okay.
Those are narcissists.
All right. And briefly, before we move on to the faith and mental health, are there mental health issues that are only for men, and those which are affect only women, or both of them? They can affect either. Are there specifics that this one affects only men and this one affects women?
Mental health for men, or mental ill health for men, are mostly when it comes to, say, suicidal issues. Men are more suicidal than women, because men repress, or they press in all the pressure they have. They don't share much. That is why the percentage of men committing suicide is higher than women, because women share. Let's talk about how men are raised from the medieval time up to some time back. And we are telling parents, do not raise your men the way men were raised a few years back. Men are human beings. When they feel like crying, let them cry. When they feel like expressing themselves, do not repress them by telling them, nyamaza, wewe ni mwanaume, you are man enough, be man enough. Men are not supposed to cry. You are killing that boy, because he will grow with pent up anger. He will show this, the signs will come out now in later age. He will grow with what we call trauma. That trauma of being repressed, not to talk, not to cry, not to do things because women maybe will laugh at him or something like that. That is how we were raised up, until later on we realized a man needs to talk. A man does not need to go only to the bar to share with his friends, because some people go to the bar, they have issues with their partners, but when they go to the bar, the men tell them, hey, I'll buy you a drink so that your issue is How can a drink finish family issues?
No.
They need to solve it.
Absolutely.
So in the morning, the issue is back. So the men in the bar have not helped him. They have made him drunk. He will go now becoming a drunkard. And drunkardness or substance abuse grows into several stages. The first one being raha, you are having fun with your peers. The next one is addiction. Once addiction sets in, it will go now into something called withdrawal syndrome. Once somebody is not able to withstand withdrawal syndrome, he must drink in the morning. Unasikia ati anataka kutoa lock. It has reached a higher level.
It's a bad one.
And mostly these things affect men. Women are different because they share. When they're in the salons, they talk.
All right.
And women will walk out. When you have become too much, she will walk out. Because you have to walk away from the stressor. But men don't walk out.
It's true.
So,
there's a research I saw somewhere that said that the men commit most men, we have a higher number of men committing suicide as opposed to women. But attempted suicide, we have women have the highest number of attempted suicide as opposed to men. Mwanaume akienda kuamua kujinyonga, that's it. But for a woman, there's a higher number of attempted suicide. So it's interesting to look at those issues like that. But I want to ask you, struggling with the idea of seeking therapy, believing that prayer should be enough. What is your take on this?
Thank you, Mr. Anunda. We believe treatment should be done holistically, yani everything, including mental health and physical health. There are only two frameworks for treatment. Mental health is key and physical health is holistic. Before you get treated physically, you must be mentally sound. Now, we should use psychospirituality in order to be able to mitigate mental ill health. Why psychospirituality? It's because spiritual matters are very important. Because
what is psychospirituality first?
Very good. Psychospirituality is incorporating psychology and spirituality. Because it is now common sense that mental health is key. Without mental health, one will not function well.
Yes.
Just like in church, we are telling people are aware, all the reverends, pastors, bishops, they know when you fall sick, you must go to the hospital. Kweli rongo?
Kweli.
Therefore, ukiwa mgonjwa wa akili, uende wapi tena? Hospitali. Kuombewa ni kwamba Mungu akusaidie upone haraka. Na Mungu wetu is a higher power we must respect. So prayers are a must. And that is why incorporating mental health within spirituality is the best. That is why many spiritual leaders are going to the universities to study mental health or psychology. Many spiritual leaders are going to other TVET institutions or other institutions of learning to study mental health. When you incorporate the two, you'll be a perfect preacher. Because only cultism where people pray to a higher power who is an individual. That individual will tell them, don't go to church, we will pray for you until you heal, and if you die, you are going to meet Jesus Christ. Who are you to tell these people to die and yet their days have not come? It is only God who gives life and only God who takes life. So let us incorporate psychospirituality for holistic healing, both spiritually and psychologically.
Awesome.
Yes.
All right. So siseme huyu maombi tu peke yake unafungia mtu kwa nyumba, unafungia, you know, it's really something that people really need to understand well. Now, how does faith impact mental health, both positively and negatively?
Wow. The positive impact of faith is, we are told, let's go to the 5 pillars of happiness. Number 1, your relationship with God.
Yes.
Number 2, your relationship with people. Number 3, the way you enjoy your work. Number 4, your personal health, mental health and physical health. Number 5, the money. I started with your relationship with God. Spirituality impacts life or mental health in that if you are getting treatment from a psychiatrist or a psychologist and you are praying, you will heal faster because you have confidence that God will help you to heal. Your belief system, because in everything we do, belief system is very important. What do you believe in? If you believe God will heal you, definitely you will be healed. That's why we go to churches and mosques. That is the positive impact of spirituality. Negative impact, I may not say of spirituality, let me say of religion. Negative impact of some religions, especially religions that believe in one individual or one power that akisema amesema. Ukisha ingia ndani, you can't come out unless you sacrifice. Those are the people who are letting spirituality down. Because we are supposed to preach about God. If you are a Muslim, you pass through Muhammad to God. If you are a Christian, you go to God through Jesus Christ. Period. There is nothing like an intercessor who says, without me, you can't reach Jesus, or you can't reach Muhammad. That is wrong. So we are saying negative impact of religion is cultism or anything to do with cultism that practices things like what we saw in Shakahola. We condemn it heavily, that let it not happen in Kenya. As psychologists, we are not happy with that kind of behavior. Because like I said, mental health is all about the way you think, the way you feel, and the way you behave. Those are behaviors that are unbecoming and they are lethal.
Okay.
Thank you.
There's somebody who says that he's had very many times that people say that everybody is mad.
Yeah.
It is the level of madness that differs from one another. Yeah. How true is that statement?
As a psychologist, I wouldn't want to use the word mad, because when initially people used to be called mad and they used to be ignored. If you have differed with your parents and you've shouted at each other,
you're mad.
You're mad. When you go to see a psychologist or a counselor, as long as you have had a mental ill health or mental health issue, you're said you're mad. And then this person will be stigmatized. He will not seek help. Madness was in those old days where people used to be taken to asylums. Mathare Hospital was an asylum.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way. Mathare Hospital has transformed to be one of the best hospitals now for all health matters, health related matters. They can treat ulcers, they can treat high blood pressure, and they can treat mental ill health. When I talk of mental ill health, I mean anything starting from stress. That's mental ill health. It needs to be treated.
Yes. Stress
will morph or will magnify into depression if it is not healed immediately through counseling or through medicine. When it reaches depression, it will now go into something called PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. When it reaches that level, now that is a disorder that needs medication. Why should you wait until you reach PTSD instead of looking for assistance when it's still at the stress level? So the issue of madness should not arise. These people who have schizophrenia or bipolar, they are not mad. They are only having mental ill health that they need to be assisted by a doctor. There has been the issue of people with suicidal ideation. It was illegal to feel suicidal. You just say, mimi nasikia naweza toka hii dunia. Then you are arrested, taken to the police. We thank the justice system for having decriminalized suicidal ideation. Right now, we are telling everyone, once you feel low, you feel like you don't belong to this world, you feel like you feel bad, seek assistance. Tell your brother, tell your mother, tell your father, I'm feeling suicidal. Can I be taken to see a psychologist to assist me, or to the hospital? And you people around someone who is feeling suicidal, right now it's not illegal. Do not take that person to the police station. That is a sick person. Right now, mental health is being treated like any other sickness, like malaria, like stomach problem, like a bone is broken, peleka huyo mtu hospitali atibiwe.
Right. Somebody else anauliza anambia kuna postpartum. Is it also part of mental health issue?
Yes. Postpartum depression.
Yes.
It is a depression that people fall into after they have given birth. What are the presenting issues of postpartum? Is mostly it affects ladies, mothers. If she has been struggling with the depression during a pregnancy, in most cases it arises when she's not in good terms with the father of that child. She will hate the child, and she'll just like maybe she hates the father, or the father hates her. When there's that animosity, postpartum depression will set in. What will happen? She will hate this child, she will hate herself, she may not take a shower, she will just feel like that period of raising the child is not healthy. So this person needs to be taken to the hospital to be treated.
Right. So it is also part of mental health.
It's part of mental ill health.
Okay.
Yes.
We want to slowly pull the curtains down on this conversation, and I believe we're not done with it. But Daktari, next week.
Yes.
Next week tupatane, tutapanga tena. We come and continue with this conversation because there's so much that we need to talk about. But before we let you go, let me ask you, how can someone recognize the signs of a mental health issue in themselves or others? Because sometimes inakuwa ngumu sana. Tunajua kuangalia ule anaka yuko sawa, but how about getting to know yourself also?
Wow. Self-awareness is very important. I am asking Kenyans, wherever they are, recognize the following signs in yourself or in others. And in most cases, it is others to tell you. Do not argue with them. At your place of work, in the family, if you see someone withdrawing from others, wanting to sit alone, that's a mental illness. If you see someone drinking too much, smoking, bang, mixing with other chemicals, there are other people who use cocaine, marijuana, which has THC, which is very dangerous for the brain. That's mental ill health. If you see a family having dysfunctionalities are when the family is not living in cohesion. That is mental ill health. You need family therapy. Go and look for a psychologist to sit you down and make sure there is animosity. What are the qualities of a good counselor? He must be empathetic with that family. He must not be judgmental. He should not judge the family. And he has to have confidentiality. Make sure you look for a professional counselor or psychologist who cannot disclose the issues of the family to other people. We are trained to maintain those three major ones. How do you tell someone is authentic psychologist or counselor? Kindly confirm he's registered by Ministry of Health. The board that registers counselors and psychologists is within the Ministry of Health. That person must have a license to operate every year. We are licensed every year. So make sure you go to registered or genuine psychologists and counselors to avoid stigmatization. When you share your issues with other people, we call it triangulation. You've had an issue with your husband or your wife, you go and tell your sister escalates to another person. That's a bad triangle. It is now you, your wife, and your sister. Your sister is not talking to your wife, so that side of the triangle is dirty. That's a bad triangle. So we are saying the person who can form a good triangle with the two of you as a husband and wife is a psychologist or a counselor. The triangle will be healthy because the psychologist can talk to your husband. He can call all of you, talk to the three of you. Your side with the wife is clean. Your wife with the counselor is clean. Counselor with you is clean. That's a clean triangle. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ari, for coming through for us today. I think we'll continue the conversation next week. We still have so much to capture. Of course, we haven't talked about overcoming stigma and seeking help. We've not talked about mental health and current events. We've not gone deep into the political advice practical advice for listeners, what you can do in case you find yourself in a particular situation of mental health. So we'd like to continue with the conversation next week, same place, same time, from 8 to 9 a.m. next week on Thursday. So if you've missed part of this conversation, join us next week as we continue with the same discussion, matters mental health, because most of us tutajipata tuko pale, but we don't know, and we need to also know how to take care of other people that are in the same situation.
Mr. Anunda, if someone has an urgent need now and he wants to talk to a counselor or a psychologist, can I give my number so that they can reach me out? My number is 0700 187 926. 0700 187 926. Alfred Weku, mental health consultant. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
96.9 FM, Pearl Radio.